Now that I found the mute button for myself and wasn't talking over everything, welcome to the Dark Helmet Racing League Season 9, Round 3. We're at Imola tonight. It's a pretty good field. We had 28 out and pretty good split between each class. Biggest class being 12, smallest class being 7. So good numbers for each class. And let's get into it here. The sprint should had a few little things going on. Looks like we have something before the start, so let's get into it. So usually contact before the start we're pretty heavy on, but in this case, everyone stopped. So see the shockwave go through here as one after each other stops. So I'm not really gonna do anything here. This the traffic congestion problem made by the chicane up here, so not too worried about it. Just if it was somebody just crashing into somebody as they were all rolling or forming up, that's a different story. But this is everyone stopped. I'm not gonna do anything here. Okay, so I got everything go. Back here. Back here. Yeah. Alright, now we got the two exits. As the start goes, we got all the way through to here before we start heading into anything. And that's a self spin there. No action. Another self spin there. That's thingy in the background. Self. Now that I'm not getting distracted again, off we go. And that's how William got into the side of him. Big slide. The Phantom 2X when you take too much curb in the starting car. But that isn't. Watch that again. This is on the 38. Now they both lose positions. I'm not sure where Patrick is yet. No, he's still waiting there too. This will be a 2.5 avoidable contact. But for our series here, you have to have overlap prior to basically the turn and the full commit side. So once this happens, you have to be able to make apex, and this gap was always going to close. This is very often opportunistic. That's why the penalty is the way it is. In this corner, you have to be fully alongside for to get any space here. This would have been shocking to the BMW driver, especially from how far back everyone came here. This front tire would have got farther up, yeah, but considering it's nose to the rear tire there, that's why the penalty is the way it is. Let's just watch this rejoin. Gonna be an unsafe rejoin. I know why it happened. They got lost in their steering lock. You can see they probably feel like they're going straight now, and it just goes over. So I'm just still gonna be an unsafe rejoin. The 80. There wasn't any incident points for anybody, but somebody had to change their line, so quite aggressively. Missed it. I was looking at something else again. Fine. Which one should be fine as well. Yep. Nobody coming, that's why it's fine. And almost here. What in the world happened here? What led to this? Let's turn the racing line on just so we can see the normal line through here. Driving aid. Let turn it on. Drive it on. Just here. Yay. We found a bug in iRacing. Alright, let's go through it slowly here. So the Mustang, this is the run up to the finish here. So this is technically the edge of the track here, the white line there. So the Mustang's going off the track, but I'm not worried about that part. And then keeping an eye on the Porsche here. Porsche gives him more room, starts moving out. Mustang starts coming across, and I want to walk this through one frame at a time here. We can see the grid markings, probably a good indication. Not great, a little bit, but you can definitely see compared to the white line on the side of the track right here that the Mustang is moving this way. And the Porsche is staying pretty consistent, and it's coming a little bit this way. But it's kind of both, and mainly the Mustang. And then they just get kind of glued together, and off they go. I don't even know if they finish. Not sure what to do with this one yet. I'm going to think about it for a second. Let's go through with that at cockpit level for the Mustang. Okay, and then let's go through cockpit Porsche. Ryan bounced across the line, and then Thomas drove across here. This is. I see Thomas's comment in the chat here, but I don't know. One's basically a racing incident more than anything. You got the Mustang that could have stayed farther to the right, 100%, and a Porsche that was trying to go as straight of a line to the finish as possible, and they got stuck together. I'm going to leave this one for a moment. I'm going to put it as investigating, and I'm going to go do the rest of the event. And then I'm going to come back and look at the one again. All right, So, start of the feature. Wow. That's what happened. From my point of view, I had no idea this was happening. I'm up here in the Mustang, and all I saw after I got a Phantom 4X here was that it was Austin. I didn't know how he got there. I just know that something happened. So for me, it feels like he steamrolls in, but it's absolutely contact in the braking zone. Um, so everyone brakes basically where they should. You can see the gap to the cars in front was not like opening, so he was braking at the same rate. The Ferrari right behind him is basically braking at the same rate, so this Porsche is what missed his braking zone and made contact. Great save and great avoidance um by Ricky here. Just lifts and lets him tuck you through. I got a Phantom 4X from this on my side, but great car control here to not make a bigger mess of this. So good job, Austin, and good job by everyone behind trying to avoid. So right now, it's noted for Austin because he was the victim in this. Okay, so this one's pretty got a lot going on. So I think here Christian knows what he did. So he gets front damage, like the front bodywork falls off from the contact. So he gets a lot of damage from it. Doesn't look like the McLaren takes too much damage. The incident further up, I'm not worried about here. So now Christian here is trying to get back up to speed. He's got, I think that's Nathan passing him here, and you've got a recovering Austin still. And at this point, Christian's trying to let him go and stay behind him for the sportsmanship for the redress, which causes a bit of a stack up behind, which is keep wary of that. You can't just lift when you got everyone behind you, and then he kind of can't lift because he's got a Mustang behind him now. So he's just going to run up beside the McLaren here, and the McLaren is getting squeezed in the middle again. Um, Good avoidance there. Mustang here is being a little bit unobservant. Probably should have been told 3 wide on his radio, but moved over. Um, so beware your spotter. Please use it. But you see Christian here lets him go back through, and they're basically where they were. But because of the contact at the beginning, it is avoidable contact. Did cause a lot of loss of track position for Austin here. I'm gonna give it a 1 incident point tally for this, or 1 penalty point to Christian for avoidable contact due to the sportsmanship side. If the sportsmanship side wouldn't have been shown, I probably would have done a 2.5 for this. I added a new sound effect, but I haven't used it at all today. Anybody hear it? No, it didn't work. It half worked. That's a 1-pointer. The 4X here is with me. We've already seen, so the car comes through. No action there. Porsche probably feels this Porsche on the inside is a little closer than it was. And this car was technically, our rules, off the track. So trying to rejoin. So I'm going to leave this as a racing incident with the two. Yeah, Smith. Nice spinning. Good rejoin. Out here with the other one. There too. Where's that tire? That wall doesn't have a tire wall on it. With how many people hit it in them. Ooh, netcode. Hey, this sound effect finally went through. All right, so this it looks like a severe case of netcode. Plenty of room going between the cars here. And then as the Mustang, or as the Porsche kind of comes in and the Mercedes there on the inside, would there have been contact anyways? Probably, but it's still on the Porsche. Technically, he's got to leave room to this white line, technically. So it's right on the edge. But just side-to-side contact and he spins. So I'm going to leave this one as a racing incident due to the netcode. Random pots, yep. All right, let's go break this one down. Gotta go back a little bit more. The Porsche's alongside. We haven't got to the braking yet. The Aston is on the outside of the track. Porsche's on the inside. Aston Martin comes over a little bit, continues to come over. They get glued together a little bit, and continues to come over on the Porsche. Cockpit. At no point was there any steering input to get out of that. All the steering input was to incur it more. If we go down, look here, steering to the left, steering to the left, a little bit to the right. Now we're steering to the right. So this one's going to be on the Aston. The Porsche was fully alongside. Porsche was being consistent in its line. The gap between this line and the Aston, watch it increase and decrease here. So yes, the corner turns a little bit, but the Porsche is being consistent in their line. In fact, I would say they're probably moving a little bit to the left even more. But the gap to this line definitely opens by the Aston. Aston does lose positions here. There is no damage. It's going to be a 1 point. Yeah, off track 4x or off track 2x. I don't know why iRacing does this these days. I had overheated my tires. I had a little slide on and was actually trying to lift and get out of this. So, no action here. That's just iRacing being weird. A lot of curb. The rear wing of that Corvette is sensitive. You know, 20 minutes in. What do we got? Good decisions. Rejoin. You can see all the warnings being triggered. My screen on iRacing gets every single one of these. So it was super distracting for me tonight, including mine. Nobody's coming still. We're good. Get left. Then, damage rear wing again. And it goes for it. Actually, on the last lap. Second last lap. Something like that. Last corner of the last lap. And this went horribly for him. Feel so bad for him right now because he goes forward and ends up getting. Was it? Did he get a 1x penalty there? No. Okay, good. But he got it after the finish. You got to be careful with that. This won't affect. No, you did get a drive-through, but I don't know if it'll affect your finishing position overall. You got to be careful where you get your 1x's. It's drive-through for 1x. How did that trigger? 42. Look at 1x. Yeah, this is the 1x here. They just went too fast to the grass and got a slowdown right there. Or a drive-through right there, unfortunately. Which really sucks. But there's nothing there. No action. Springer celebrating and crashing. Had a good run up to P3. Alright, that's it. So not too many incidents tonight that were actually point worthy, and lots of drive-throughs that everyone had to serve here, there, and everywhere. Pretty high incident total for tonight. We got 266 total. You can see there, but that's just for the feature. But overall, for this number of drivers in the three classes, I think everyone did pretty good. Could have been a lot worse. I got myself a drive-through. I definitely could have done better. Next week, we are where? Next week, We are having a fun week. We're in the Porsche Cups, so it's an off week. We're not racing officially next week. For the Sunday League, we'll be on Porsche Cups at Summit Point for a fun race. We'll That's because everyone's going to be doing the Nürburgring 24. So rather than kind of make it so you guys, anybody that's participating in that does the 24-hour race um, and then tries to join our Sunday League, we've from experience found it's pretty low. So low attendance. So we'll do a fun race next week for anybody that wants to come out. On Tuesday, if you are available, we have the GR86 for Mix Up Cup. We are at Olton, and it's a very fun layout. Very, very short layout, but very fast. So if you could come out, come and join us. See you for the next DH